Okay, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you've figured out already that when we're dealing with inequalities, they're basically no different than dealing with equalities. So when we had 3x plus 2 equals 7, we just did this, minus 2, 3x equals 5, divide by 3, x equals 5/3. That's how you do an equality. If, on the other hand, I have less than or equal to, less than or equal to, less than or equal to, I don't change anything. I still subtract 2. I still divide by 3. I still get this. It's just the difference is how I graph it. Again, closed circle at 5/3, and x is less than, so I shade that way. Okay. Now, the only time that changes is when you multiply or divide by a negative. If I multiply or divide by a negative, this less than would have to turn into a greater than. Now, let's go over here and let's continue our discussion, because if I have y equals 3/2 x plus 5. All right. This has two variables in it, not just one variable, so this is going to need a graph. Now, to graph this is y equals mx plus b. So I have the slope. I have the y-intercept. So the y-intercept here is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There it is. 3/2 go up. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. There you go. And connect the dots, and that is my equation right there. So I'm up 3 over 2. Okay, and I came here at 0, 5. All right, so that's my equation. I graphed it. Again, what happens if I have y is greater than or equal to 3x, or 3/2 x plus 5? I'm still going to do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Okay, great. Now, just like over here, if we had the equal to part, we used a solid dot. If I have an equal to part here, I'm going to use a solid line. We'll talk about the alternative here in a minute. But it now says instead of just the line, so just the points on the line that are the solution to the problem, now it's other things like y is greater than. So every single y bigger than the line. Well, where's bigger, ladies and gentlemen? Above or below? Well, bigger than means above. So here we go. I'm going to shade the entire section above the line because that's the part that's on top of the line. That's it. That's all there is to inequalities. Above or below. Now, let's do another example just for fun. So that was example 1. Really, it's all of example 1. So example 2, let's do something like this. 4x minus 2y is greater than 3. All right, so now this is in standard form, so I can't deal with it in standard form. Just like always, I have to move it into slope y-intercept form. So let's get ax plus by equals c to y equals mx plus b. So let's do that. Let's move the 4x over here to the other side, minus 4x. So I have negative 2y is greater than negative 4x plus 3. Why did I put the 4x first? Because the slope comes before the y-intercept in traditional formatting. So what we're going to do is we now need to divide by negative 2. Warning, because I just divided by a negative. What must I do? Instead of blur is greater than, it's now going to be blur is less than. And what's these two go away? What's negative 2 divided by negative 4? Positive 2x plus negative 3/2. Or if you put minus 3/2, that's fine. Now, in this case, I have a slope and I have a y-intercept, so m and b. Let's graph them up. Now, in this case, negative 3/2 is down 1. Instead of down 2, it's like down 1.5. So down negative 3/2. But my slope is 2. Now, if I have a slope of 2, that's really a slope of 2 over 1. So I go up 1, 2 over 1. 1, 2 over 1. I just did it twice so I can draw a better line. But just like when we had equal to, we had a solid dot. Here, I have less than, which means open dot. Well, how do I make a line that's an open dot? Well, let's make a dotted line. Okay, there we go. Now, in this case, because I switched sign, y is less than, so I'm shading down here. All that area is what I'm interested in. There is one other type that kind of can throw kids if you're not careful. And that's if I have y plus 7 is less than 2y plus 4. Okay, now you'll notice there's only how many variables here? Just one. All right, even though there's two of them, there's just one variable. So it's minus 2y, minus 2y. That gives me negative y plus 7 is less than 4. Minus 7, negative y is less than negative 3. Is everybody cool with that? Because, again, it's just solving. But what do I have to do to get y by itself? I got to get rid of that negative, so I'm going to divide by negative 1 or multiply by negative 1. It makes no difference. But when I do it, what do I have to do? Switch the sign. So y is greater than 3. What? How do I do y is greater than 3? That's weird. Remember, x equals a number is a vertical line. Y equals a number is a horizontal line. Okay, so if I have y is greater than 3, it's going to be a horizontal line through 1, 2, 3. Solid or dotted? Well, there's no equal to, so it's dotted. And it says y is greater than, so, well, where's greater than? Above. So I shade it like this. So that's the only time that it's kind of weird is when you don't have two variables. But I think you guys can handle it. Okay, so let's take a look at that. That gets us ready for homework. See you then.